Right. But I feel like with that, so we went to church, we did the things. But
Yes.
as you get older, and it's like, I know I'm on my own now. I don't.
Yeah.
My parents aren't calling me saying, "Hey, did you go to church today?" Hey, like if you don't have the foundation of a relationship with God, you're first seeking it within a church. I feel like sometimes that's what messes people up because it's like you're following after another man.
Your journey with, like you were saying, it never ends. I have to wake up every day to seek Him. And we have returned.
And we back. 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 We are back with another episode of the You're Done podcast. It's your girl. It's your girl, Big Nesto, not the little one.
And clearly I lived up to my name with that. Woo! Right. Be more never less.
Tone it down. Oh, we are back. Okay.
Yes.
Still season 3. The beginning of season 3.
Yes.
We are we got 2 good topics that we gonna. Which one you wanna do first?
Ooh, not throwing it out there that
we the next one gonna be good too.
Because we couldn't decide on what to. Okay, well the deal, y'all know we got a running list, and then it's always, well, what you want to discuss first? Because I always feel like when something is really on my heart, that's the best time to discuss it.
Yeah.
Because I give the best advice to y'all and to myself, because half the time I just be talking to myself through the mic. Y'all think, oh, girl coming off the dome, she is, but she is literally letting herself know that it's gonna be all right.
No, for real. And it's crazy because I was just telling Corey how these episodes, like the ones that are going out now, is like season 2, beginning of season 2. We're recording season 3 right now, but so this stuff was recorded like at least a month ago.
Yes.
Or more. And when they finally drop, it's something that I felt like I needed in that moment.
Yeah.
So like the one that just dropped was about
toxic positivity.
Toxic positivity. And I feel like I was battling, like literally the past week or so, I've just been feeling like nothing, I'm like, I'm not doing enough, or I'm trying to be so positive when I'm running myself I'm running myself in the ground, like trying to just show up every single day. And one day I just had to call into work and be like, I cannot. Yeah. And I don't want to.
Yeah. So and she didn't. She bothered me the whole day.
No, I didn't.
And didn't even make my pizza all the way right.
But I took that time to really just, because it was becoming toxic positivity. I'm showing up and I'm doing everything else for everybody else, but I was drained. My cup was empty, baby. Empty.
Yes.
So yeah. So with that being said, I feel like I have a good 2 topics that I brought up to you about. Like they were on the list, but I feel like I had to pray, and which is also a good point. I'm glad I brought that up. So that's the one we're gonna talk about first, the church one, right? So I had to pray to just be like, because like we said, sometimes we don't know exactly what to talk about all the time. And I want to be in a space where, like you said, giving the best sound advice or wisdom, knowledge, whatever the case may be. Yeah. I don't want to just get up here and just start yapping. Yeah. So I want it to be something of substance. Amen. And so I was like, I asked God to just give me a topic and give me the words to say about the topic. So I still was like, okay, I got the topic, but I don't really know, like, okay, how am I going to elaborate on that? Yeah. And so I asked Mama, and the topic is about, it was on the list, about navigating your own spiritual journey with God as an adult. Yes. We grew up, we went to church, we said this on the podcast before, but these are things that, you know, your mama wake you up. You wasn't waking your mama up to go to church.
I was not. And so, I was definitely coloring in Bible study.
She was falling asleep in church.
I didn't go to sleep. I didn't go to sleep because Mama would, every now and again, she would make us sit in like the big people church. You know, you got the kid church and then you go like adult service. And she would be like, I want you to write down like 2 or 3 things you learned from this. So now I really got to sit here while he and figure out, well, what part of this sermon am I not gonna tell her about
Right.
because at this point this is becoming theatrical and I am being entertained.
That same lady that caught the Holy Ghost last week, Shirley may at it again.
She was running in her tracksuit. No, that did happen though. This lady had like the windbreaker tracksuit, y'all, like the one that goes. And then it was like red, white, and blue. I say, what the Olympics? She came prepared to run for the Lord.
She knew the Lord was gonna speak to her that day.
Listen, and I just was like, and I never doubt if you know, and I hate to say you catch the Holy Ghost because I just feel like God is in you, and if something, comes over you, and then that is how you express it, then who am I to say no? But as a child, and you witness that, I'm definitely thinking, girl, just go up there when they say come to the altar and tell them what's on your mind. Because ain't nobody got time to be chasing you around these pews before you fall out.
Right. But I feel like with that, so we went to church, we did the things. But as you get older, and it's like, I'm on my own now. My parents are calling me saying, hey, did you go to church today? Hey, did you this and that? So my journey with God, and also with the church thing. Let's start with that first. So I have a few bullet points.
The girl came prepared.
So I was talking to my mother, and so like the church scene, right? The church scene is not what, like if you're let's say you've never been to church before and you hear all these good things about God and this and this and that, and you get into a church and then you find, I've been to churches where I find it is not, like, people are not as holy as they claim to be.
No.
They're not really living the life that God has called us to live by. Those things. So church, that's bullet point number 1. Bullet point number 2 is simply just trying to find my own way, in the sense of it's my journey. And understanding that your journey may not look like the next person's journey.
Yeah.
That's another one. And the last one, it might come back to me later, because my brain, it be rolling and then it crash. Software update. Give me a second.
Homegirl is on AOL. She is
not high-speed internet.
You on dial-up.
Yeah. So give me a second. But yeah, so we can start with the first one, the church one, right?
Yeah.
I personally, which I would love to find a church, but also with moving, like I was going to church at one point, like in Charlotte, I was going every Sunday.
Yeah.
I don't even listen to that online anymore. That church that I was going to. I'm not going to speak about the churches. I might speak about certain few people. Some people, y'all. But I've been, like, even as an adult, obviously, especially as an adult, I've been in churches where it was like, oh, that pastor ended up coming out, they did X, Y, and Z. And a lot of people go to church thinking, like, if you don't have the foundation of a relationship with God, you're first seeking it within a church. I feel like sometimes that's what messes people up, because it's like you're following after another man. You can't believe everything that everybody say. You have to first get it for yourself, if that makes sense. So I've been in churches where it was like they was feeding us all the wrong information, and I'm like, and had I not had my own wisdom and knowledge about God and what it is that those scriptures actually mean, I could have been led astray out here looking like a fool.
Yeah, but I think that goes back to the Bible is accessible to everybody. I mean, at this point, you can download the app on your phone. It's for free. So I feel like I was in that stage because, like, when we say we grew up in the church, we really did not. Like, we went to church. Like, there would be, like, periods of time where it was, like, every Sunday. And then you go, like, 2-3 years. And don't get me wrong. Like, my mom, we still had to be respectful. We would mention God. But, like, to say, like, we had a home church, that was my pastor. I did my time. Like, it was not like that.
A lot of it also came from Daddy. Like, our dad would read the Bible for himself.
Yeah.
And he was just, and if you met Daryl, child,
if you know, you know.
You could be cleaning your car, and he gonna come up out of nowhere. Yeah, and then I was just reading in Isaiah, and now we got a whole Bible study going on, y'all. So that's what we mean. Like, yes, we did not grow up going to church. But we had, like, we knew of God, and God was something that wasn't like.
Yeah, and our dad would steer us in another direction if he felt like, hey, you're doing this one thing. Did you know the Bible said? But then I will say this: I feel like my daddy know the Bible front and back. He is not a pastor, but if I call him right now and just be like, so I read blah, 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 he gonna be like, oh yeah, cause then he know how to jump to like another book and I'd be like,
connect the dots. And
then I'd be like, wait a minute, Dad, I'm still in the Old Testament. Don't confuse me along my journey.
Right. Hold up.
But it is helpful, but he will also write out like different scriptures and he'll say, hey, I want you to read these and then come back. So he never, even though he knows the Bible, and even though he's quote unquote teaching us, he never leaves it like, because I said it and then I backed it up with the scripture, he'll say, go read it for yourself. And so because we have been that way since we were young, for me now as an adult, I do tend to go back and read. So it's funny because sometimes I will go back and be like, so the pastor said, and then I double check your facts. Because at this point, I'm ChatGPT at the church. Because what you said was, and what the Bible said, you ain't lining up that part. So I feel like if you're an adult, I feel like it's harder as a child because like you said, someone is leading you to church and then you're kind of going and then they try to give you like the scriptures and then you get to the Billy Goat and then everything is funny after that. Like, right. And so I feel like now that I'm an adult, it's taking it more into consideration of, am I living for the earthly things just so I can say, hey, I have a relationship, or do I intentionally have a relationship with God? And and that's what stirs a lot up in me because I feel that this is going to be an honesty moment, okay? And I'm going to try not to cry.
We ain't got the tissue.
I know we ain't no tissue. But I feel like I'm in a much better space with my journey with God, but sometimes I feel like I'm falling short because I feel that whatever it is that I really need to like turn the corner for him, I won't even have enough. Like it's something I won't want to give up, right? Like you have to, there's this thing where it's like, if you're for God, everything needs to be for him. Like literally everything needs to be for him. But I ain't gonna lie, and this is just being something very, very mild. But I love, like, I don't know, Dr. Bronner soap, right? So if he like, you gotta go to Dove. Wait a minute, Dove, drop me out.
No, but Brittany.
And it's it's things like that makes me feel, what is he really wanting me to like turn? And I don't know, y'all. I don't know yet. I'm still on my journey. I'm still figuring out like how, and then and you always will be. But I do get afraid that I'm going to get to a point where he's going to be trying to force me and I'm going to be extremely disobedient because I'm going to be like, there's no way you would tell me to get rid of that thing because that thing makes me happy. Like, and it's not, and then to me, it's not even bad. You know what I'm saying? So those are the things that I get fearful of that will stop me from really entering the kingdom because I feel like, it really ain't that bad, so that can't be what you talking about, so let me change this.
Yeah.
And
that's more important.
Yeah, right? Like, that gots to be what you really talking about, because I'm not Tabitha Brown. I don't have this, when the Lord talked to me, I don't have those moments, so that makes me fearful too. Like, am I just sitting in my head for a very long time?
Yeah. But I feel like it don't have to be super big things that make you feel as though God is trying to get your attention about certain stuff. And it's crazy that you brought up the soap situation because there's a brand and it's called Honey Pot. Okay? Honey Pot is a feminine wash, right? And if you read the back of that feminine wash, it talks about the owner. Well, I guess we ain't never getting a honey pot. We don't want it, but a honey pot. What's it called? Brand deal. Okay, but my thing is, on the back of the bottle, it says something about the owner's, her ancestors speaking to her and doing all these things. And if you read the Bible, you're not supposed to speak to the dead. You can't. They're dead. You know that's not what we're supposed to be doing. If they're not here, then why are we still trying to stay in contact with the people that are dead? That's in the Bible. I don't have the verse.
And I'm gonna have to read that because I don't know that, and I got Honey Pot in the shower.
Okay, but my thing is, Brittany, I had literally bought a bottle maybe that day before or whatever, and I saw that, and I went to the shower, And I turned that bottle around, and it literally says that on the back of it. And how crazy that this is on the back of a bottle of something that you use on your most feminine and most precious parts of your body as a woman. And you have to really be mindful of the things that you use. So it don't have to be like, oh, God is saying, oh, you need to turn, like, oh, yes, no sin is greater than the other. Yeah. But it don't have to be. I threw that brand new, I never have used it. I'm not putting that on my, not on my hookah.
Listen, I got to go find me a new one.
So I had to go find, I did, and I went and found me a new one. And it's just certain things, and with that, let me know that I'm being more inclined to listening to whatever it is that God, like, God didn't come and tell me that himself. Like, I didn't hear him come from the cloud. Like, when
right? Like, because I'd be like, where's the tabernacle?
It was literally from someone else. Like, I heard it from someone else, and she is a woman of God, too. Yeah. But that's why I'm saying, like, even with these podcasts and wanting to speak on touchy subjects such as this, I don't want to have just say anything. I want to have good factual things that I'm personally living by that I can, back it up. That has happened to me. I don't use that no more. Honey pie had to go.
Well,
honey pie was going on this pie.
Once I read about it, y'all, I'll come back in another episode.
Read the Bible.
And that's what makes this so good too, and why not only do you need to read the Bible for yourself, but then it's good to be surrounded. Like even Corey, and then my husband, he's a PK. His grandfather was a pastor. So homeboy, I was just complaining that I went to one service. He done went to the first service, second service, the service at the other church. Yeah. The choir got to meet together. Day. Yeah, he up there doing the announcements. So I get so much when I'm talking. And then my dad, and then my mom, she's learning even more. So it's really cool when we sit, because it's either we all have one aspect of what we read, or like that, I've never heard about it. So then it's interesting. Well, it's not interesting. It's just really nice to be able to sit down with people who don't get offended when the way that they read it isn't what they thought it was, because you're still learning it. And I think that's one thing is you have to remember that, because everyone is like, well, that's a pastor. He's supposed to be a man and a God, and this, that, and the third, but he's still a man. So he's still going to interpret the Bible in the way of which he would, for whatever reasons it may have resonated or made sense to him. And so for me,
but the Bible should not be taken as, from my perspective, the Bible is exactly
what it is. Yeah.
You can't be like, well, this is how I took it. That baby, if I say the bottom of that pot is hot and you decide, we use that analogy.
Right.
Here I go.
But we use it all the time, because that's how my mom described Destiny growing up. Right. She's the one that got to touch the pie.
Exactly. But you have to just take it for exactly what it is. Even if it's something that makes you feel like, oh, he's convicted me of something. Okay, that's a step in the right direction of you're being convicted of something that helps you grow closer to God. So, like, my relationship with God, or my journey with God, has been, like you said, we had the relationship with God growing up. We did this and this and that. But even like what Mama said earlier, there are people in the church who are just going to church to get that little, like, knock the edge off type of thing. Like, you've been doing X, Y, and Z all week. And now you feel as though because you go to church, that balances it out. That's not how that works. It's supposed to cancel it out. Like, that's not how this works. So I feel like with me, I had a phase in my life where I'm like, I know God, I'm doing these things, this is what I've been taught, blah, 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 blah. I'm in college, me and my roommates, we're going to church, this and that, but we're also going out every weekend, getting drunk, doing all these things,
brunch to get the mimosas right after church.
No, for real. So stuff like that. So I had to, now in my journey with God, where I am currently, it's crazy because with all the things that I've done in my past, I like people that just met me now, right? They'll look at me and be like, oh yeah. Like I have some coworkers, they're like, Destiny not doing that, or they'll do something that they feel as though I wouldn't do. And granted, right now I wouldn't. But they're like, oh, thank you for not judging. This literally happened to me last night. Thank you for not judging us. And I was like, first of all, I'm not here to judge you. And if I had something to say bad about you, maybe I was going to tell it to you.
Yeah, and if this is too much for me, I would have left.
Exactly. Yeah. But they felt as though this is something Destiny when I want to partake in. So they were going to try to do it and not tell me. But I was like, girl, do your thing. Because I'm so confident within myself and who God like step like I'm not that Destiny that used to go out, get drunk, smoke weed, do all those things anymore. So even when I'm in those settings, I'm not sitting here looking at the next, like looking down on the next person, but I am strong enough to be like, I literally do not care to partake in any of those things. And that's only because God has pulled me out of those situations. Yeah. So my journey with God and where I am, it's good for me it helps me because when stuff like that happens, it's like, oh, people see me as the person that I'm always striving to be. You know, like, I don't want people, obviously, I'm not saying I'm better than the next person because, I just decided not to do whatever they were doing yesterday. But it's just like, that is a reminder of where I used to be and where God has taken me right now. And as an adult, I have to literally I have to wake up every day and choose to be like, what ways am I going to spend time with God today? Yeah. What ways am I going to allow God to work in my life today?
But that's interesting too, because that's something I'm learning. Even though I kind of started my journey last year, is when I really was like, I'm going to read my Bible. I want to get a good Bible study. So I have like 3 of those things because one helps me better than the other, or I'll flip flop between them because I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes you read the Bible and you be like, what is that word? So at this point, I'm just reading to be reading, but I'm not understanding. I'm like, girl, I don't know.
Book, like a fiction book. Was fiction real or not?
Non-fiction.
Non-fiction is real.
Yeah.
Fiction is fake.
And I always got those
Whatever,
confused.
The book is not for your entertainment.
Yeah.
You need to study it, is what I'm trying to say.
And so I had to be able to slow down. But now I'm realizing, like, you know how you feel like even in your fitness journey or anything that you do, if you feel like you've been consistent for 3 months, you be like, okay.
Right, and then like I'm not thinking.
Right. And then exactly. And then like you miss one day, but you be like, that's all right because for like 3 months and then that one day becomes like another day. And then before you know it, you're kind of like sporadically reading about it. But you're like, but I was so consistent. I'm gonna just get back to it. Your journey with, like you were saying, it never ends. I have to wake up every day to seek him. And I'm not gonna lie, especially if you starting, it's going in the beginning, you excited. Everybody excited when you first start something. Then afterwards, you just kind of like, well, if he made me, I'm in his image. He know where I'm at. He know my heart, and so you start to come up again, flesh talking with other things to say, well, he already know. But I have to say, okay, and then I have to wake up and say, so what am I going to do about that? Right. It's like if I can wake up every day and get on Instagram, I can check my messages. I can do every day that notification. If you got an iPhone, go ahead and get to your productivity so you can see how long you've been on Instagram. And if you can do that screen time, if you're doing that every day, you're seeking that entertainment, right? So for me, I'm like, if I can do that, I know that I can wake up and seek him for, a few minutes. But I also had to realize that I don't have to do it in the morning. If it's at nighttime, if it's in my car, like if God woke you up, he was with you while you was asleep. Yeah, like you did not have to wake up. Right. So I just feel like you literally have to seek him. She is going through it over there. You literally have to seek him in everything that you do, and then you have to seek him every day, no matter how consistent. Yeah, doesn't matter how consistent you've been. He don't care. No. At all.
Because like you said, you could just be reading it just to read it. I've had a moment like that. Those 365-day Bible things, those read the Bible in a year plan, I almost got caught in that. Because I was like, I remember I bought one. And you and Mama went and bought one. I won't even use that book no more. Yeah. Because for one, my thing is to read the Bible in a year, that is that's your goal, that's great. But my thing is, I know for me personally, I can't read it and fully understand it in a year. I'm not going to be able to read. That is a lot of book. Okay? Yeah. And to sit there and just, if I wanted to just say I read it, okay, fine. Cool. Go read it in the 365 days. That's great. But what did you gain from that?
Nothing.
And yes, they have the plans, and yes, but like you said, it's a journey. It's something daily that you have to, choose to do. But every day will not look the same. Yeah. So now I'm on this 365-day thing, which means that's not just a Monday through Friday thing. That's not just a Sunday thing. If I skip one day, I'm already off.
Yeah.
And sometimes for people that, like you said, are new on their journey, if you go out and that's the first thing you get is, I'm gonna read the Bible in a year and God's gonna love me, and as soon as you fall off. Now what?
Yeah.
Now, then some people don't. They be like they give up. They don't.
Oh yeah.
But I feel like you have to find what works for you. I was reading that book and I said, okay, I'm just reading it to be reading it at this point. I'm not gaining anything from this. So I got me a new Bible study book and it helps me. You have to find what works for you, like you said. But I feel like with my journey, Baby, I ain't scared now to be like, oh, that ain't working. Let's try something different. Yeah. But I used to be that person where it was like, oh, I done messed up one day and now
forget about it, right?
I had one job to read the Bible in a year, and then something in life happened, and I just did not get to it that day.
Yeah. I had to stop taking off a timeline and just say every day, just spend time with him. Yeah. And then don't put a number on it. Don't limit yourself, because I done read Genesis at least 4 times. At least. And then I remember I had gotten so deep. I think I called her and I was like, the light. If he hadn't even made the sun yet, what? Right? And so it's things like, but see, for me, when that came about, it wasn't because I'm like trying to nitpick every little thing, but I'm really trying to understand it. So
this is real life.
Yeah. So when people are like, you still in Genesis, girl, I'm still at what he made first. What was on the 4th day, because it ain't lining up with me. And so
just think. Like a lot of people, especially like growing up and children's Bible school or whatever, that's one of the common things. When God created the earth, like that is a common thing that most people know, right? Yeah. So, but they never really go into depth of things like that. Like, okay, well, how was there light if the sun, like when you really, and it's not to question God or, say that what God said or didn't happen the way he said or did it. But it's literally just trying to gain a better understanding of it. Yeah. Because they can sit here and just tell you all day, give me a popular verse. I don't know.
The book of when they talk about Moses and them animals. That one was very interesting to me. When Daddy was breaking that one down, I was like...
But as a kid, it's a man on a big boat with some animals. But no, like, it was literally intentional. Two of everything, a man and a woman, so they can make more like you really...
Well, yeah, and then you realize, like, they was on a boat for, like, a whole year.
They was not just on there for 40 days.
I thought it exactly. I was like, they was on in one week, off in another week, and it was like when you really. And I brought out pen and paper. I was writing down the numbers, and I said, "This is a long time."
Yeah, they tell you how old he was when he got on there. And you look, wait a minute.
How you become that old?
Wait, I thought it was 40 days. So you really have to dive into it for yourself. As a kid, they're just giving you the surface level, but you gotta
get in there.
So if you're still in Genesis, that's okay. There's so much stuff to learn.
Because I still go back to Genesis.
Because and even now, like at first, it's to me the Bible was, Jesus came in the Old Testament. Yeah. But no, baby, they was talking about Jesus, but Jesus came in the New Testament. Yeah. They was talking about Jesus in the Old Testament. Yeah. But when you read they don't just say Jesus. They don't. But when that's like what Daddy be connecting the dots, baby. When you see this little girl, when you connect the dots.
Go have a seat, Mama. Okay, when I get done, we'll go somewhere.
So you have to really just connect the dots and really study it to understand it. And I feel like now, as an adult, I'm like you said, I wake up every day for work at 5 a.m. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, I have a day on Tuesdays. I have to be to work earlier. I have to be to work at 6:30. And my commute to work is already about 45 minutes to an hour. Yeah. So pray for me. And I drive a Durango. That's a lot of gas.
Yes.
So my point is, when I wake up every day at 5 a.m. on Tuesdays, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. That Bible study, I don't do it on Tuesdays because I don't want to rush my. Yes, I could wake up a little earlier that day.
Yeah.
But I've already put it into my schedule that I'm not. You know,
yeah.
I don't beat myself up about it. I still talk to God throughout my day. I still wake up and I pray. But I don't get the whole book out with the Bible study, the pens, the highlighters like I do every other day.
Yeah.
And it had the Destiny on the 365-day Bible did that, I would have really just been like, but I've learned to get, like, I would have just gave up on it. Yeah. But I've learned to give myself grace. The same things that I'm asking God to do for me, I've literally had to learn how to do it for myself. Yeah. And like, I'm asking God, please give me the peace and the love that you give, you know, to me every day. Help me give that to others. But a lot of the times I never at first was like praying that for myself. If I'm praying to give the love to everybody else, I know Jesus is giving me the love too, but how am I pouring it to myself? Like sometimes I feel like at first I feel like my journey was always just about what can I do for the other person, or somebody else. But really, it was like if I'm not doing this solely for myself, then I'm not gonna be able to help nobody else.
That's true. Sense. Yeah,
like obviously it's not solely for myself. Everybody reaps the benefits of, you know, me trying to be a better person.
Yeah, but
like
you're not
me to be,
but you're not meant to be in this world alone. Clearly. Yeah. But right. I mean, a lot of people get in a journey and they be like, all I need is the Lord. And it's it took two people just to make you. Like,
you know, right.
You know, so I don't like when people try to just be like, all I need is my body. And it is real. It is real. You want to be on your journey. Your journey is yours. At the end of the day, when you leave this earth, your body stays, your soul, you know, and so I understand that part, but I'm like, but why you're here, why he's giving you time to be on this earth, you need to realize that your life, and this is one thing I had to remember too, my life is not my own. When God put me here, there's a reason for why I'm here and the things that I need to do. And it's I know,
bigger than you,
right? And sometimes I'm like, why I'm doing that? And it never hits you in the moment. But later on down the road, you be like, well, I'll be God dang it. If I wouldn't have done that crappy job, I wouldn't have known this little crappy bit of information that they needed for the job that paid me what I deserved, you know? Yeah. And so it's moments like that I'm just always, even when I get done wrong or something goes on, I do try to look at the glass half full to just say, well, what is it from that I can learn? Sometimes it's how can I change my perspective? Because if I can react to you in a crazy way, that means if my kids say something crazy, I'm probably gonna react to them crazy. So it's not always as exactly what it seems. And
I
so
don't know how you be sitting like that, girl, my ankle broke. I'm sorry, y'all. My foot falling asleep and all kind of stuff.
And so I have to sometimes remind myself of not just my purpose, because I know we've talked about that too. Like, I feel like my purpose is in fitness, but sometimes when I'm posting stuff or if I'm doing stuff or if I'm thinking of content, which I haven't really dived into, but I do feel like it's shifting for me where I just want to be a little bit more honest and talking like, yes, I'm a 5 a.m. girly because that works for me. But at the same time, what about that day I don't want to? Well, this is what that looks like, y'all. Yeah. But I'm not setting up my camera for you to see me get out of bed because clearly I got out of bed to set up the camera.
Right. Use the context.
Right.
I got out of the bed.
Exactly. So I feel like in a lot of ways, even with us doing this podcast, this all started with my sister and I are 6 years apart. We, you know, this is how we've grown. And then come to find out, it's like there's so many other things that we can discuss and that we can share from our perspective, because I do feel like a lot of people have a perspective of, oh, because they said this, then you get this broad picture of like, oh, so there are all these things. And I think this conversation shows that, don't get me wrong, I'm for the Lord. Okay. Yeah. I know I'm on the favorite and the strongest warrior list.
Every year.
Every year. Okay. 365 days. Okay. But it's also to show that I'm figuring it out in the best, and I'm taking my time. I'm on nobody else's plan. I'm on my own, and I'll sit here and tell you, if she say something, you probably like, oh, well, they're reading about it together, and that thing she talking about, I'm for real. I'm going back on this honey pot because I have no idea what she's just talking about, and if I can figure it out, I'll share it in the story, or something like that. But I love it because I do want to one day read the entire Bible, but like I said, our dad knows it, and I feel like he even goes back and he'll say, well, when I read it this time, then I remembered this from this chapter and blah, blah, blah. And so it comes back, around for him too. And it's not to say he's going to know it from front to back and be like, this is 100% right, because we've been told that there's certain books that's been taken out of the Bible. And I know I just jumped around on this, but something Daddy said one day had my mind freaking blown. Okay. and I haven't looked at it, but I said I would look into it. Is when he said, no one in the Bible ever says Bible. It's always like they're telling their stories and then we put it together. So it's almost to say like, well, who put the Bible together? Who came up with the term for this? Because at this point, and so in some ways that sometimes like stirs a little bit up in me too, because I'm like, what if you took a book out that I need to figure this part? And that makes me so frustrated. But it's not to say that I'm reading the Bible and being like, oh, well, I ain't got to really, pay attention to what you're saying or what you're doing because maybe the man wrote it. But it's certain things. But it's certain things like that make me go, wow, and for him to even have read the whole Bible and then to realize that, like, I want to get to a point where when people say things, I can kind of go back and be like, well, where did you find that? Because I read that and I didn't see. Yeah. And he has
to
that.
back up your belief. That was literally in my prayer. Like, I want to know the word, not solely just how it benefits me. And that's another thing with reading the Bible. I don't read it from a perspective of what it, like, I need to find.
How can that pertain to me?
Oh, they said you need to do X, Y, and Z. Okay, I need to do that. And I'm going to be great. No. Because without those things that they're saying that we are supposed to do, and like in Proverbs, baby, they tell you, do this. If you want some wisdom, baby, go read that. They gonna tell you exactly what to do, what not to do if you do that. Look,
and if you're on your high horse, you're coming down.
Exactly.
You probably not even on a little pony.
Not at all. Because if you're doing it solely feeling like, what am I to gain from this? Yeah, you're already on the bad start, babe. Because it's not about you. And it's about learning more and hearing more from God. Like, I'm not reading here like, oh, yeah, it said the Proverbs 31 woman, she cook and she wake up before everybody. So if I wake up before everybody, I'm a Proverbs 31 woman. Mm-hmm. No, baby, you're just sleepy. Right? you need to go back to bed. Because the whole point is literally building a relationship with God.
Yeah.
And then all those other things will be given unto you. Seek first the kingdom of God and everything else will be given unto you. Everybody know that. It's that. Now that's one you can't, ain't no, to my perspective, it is what it is. A lot of people try to take certain verses, and don't read before or after. And they be, oh yeah, John 3:16, oh Philippians 4:6. They know all the little, but they're not really reading. They go read the Bible.
Right. And don't switch it for where you are in life, because that's how you can get a lot of things misconstrued. And I think then it takes away from when you are noticing things out in the world, this is how you get mixed in with the wrong crowd.
Oh, I was gonna
because
say,
that has happened.
But you gotta be mindful of who you're surrounding yourself with too. If you're trying to have this relationship with God, but the more I got in, me and God locked in. And the more locked inner we get,
not locked inner.
The more locked in we get, the people that I once thought would be here forever, whatever the case may be. Oh, we're always gonna be friends. I'm always gonna be doing these certain things. Baby, if you from Houston, baby, Adore, that's the spot. It's the place. Yeah. It's like whatever. I lived downtown, midtown, whatever. I was there all the time. I haven't been to that place in I don't know how long. I don't think about that place. It's just certain things that I used to do all the time. Didn't really think nothing of it. Yeah, still reading my Bible, y'all, by the way.
Yeah.
But my thing is when you grow closer to God and all these things, stuff, you just shed certain skin and certain desires and things that you once, like, it was cool. I enjoyed doing those things.
Yeah.
And like you say, well, why would God want to take away something that I enjoy? Because it's not fulfilling you in the way that it needs to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're having fun. You may be having a blast, but you're a sinner. Yeah, I mean, I still am, but come on now. No,
but it's stopping you from realizing something else. And when I think that's something I have to realize is that if I'm giving something up, I shouldn't just look at that one thing, because what he's preparing me to step into is far more greater than what it is that I'm thinking like, oh, this is it, you know? And so just
sometimes come with people.
Sometimes true.
The people got to go with it. And that's cool. See y'all on the other side, hopefully, you know?
Right.
You know, I'm doing my part, okay? Because I ain't trying to get up there and God be like, adore. I'm like,
because listen,
no.
Texas is high.
You adoring the wrong thing, baby.
Right?
You need to adore the Lord.
That part, because Texas is hot, and I'd be like, I can't go to hell. And I would. And when you was talking about sinning, I don't know. I don't know if I was talking to somebody, and it was along those lines. Interestingly, this was just yesterday. It had to have been Asia, and I was saying how,
hey, Asia girl,
hey. And I was pretty much saying how, like, we was talking about it being hot and I can't go to hell. And then I said, because girl, them gonna be real, like, sinners, you know? And cause in our mind, if you go steal food because you trying to feed your kid and then you go to jail, you ain't supposed to steal. But I'm like, what your kid is, huh? You gotta do it. But if you out here mass murdering, raping kids, you're definitely going to hell. Right. But in God's eyes, no sin is greater than the other. And so it was funny because in that moment, though, I was just like, girl, I'm just out here, like, I told a lie. He killed 18 people.
Doesn't matter.
We cannot be down here burning together. Done. Right? And so when you said that, it reminded me of that story, because I also tried to remind myself that no sin is greater than the other. So just try your best to always put your best foot forward, and then treat people the way you want to be treated. And then remember, again, this life is not my own. I'm living for him. And I fall short sometimes because I'm trying to stop cussing. I'm trying to stop saying, oh my, and I say that quite a bit. And I've changed up my music. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love going back and listen to little Monica, little 90s every now and again.
Ain't no wrong with that.
I know. And then I was listening to Pretty Ricky.
Okay, and I said blue lights, red lights. What is it? Blue lights?
Red light, blue. Girl, one of them lights, and it was special. So I do try to, you know, find that balance, but it's been very interesting for me to try to not feel like, oh, because I'm not doing your type of bad, that I'm good. And I think that's where a lot of people, I'll say that's where I used to get mixed up at too, because I used to be like, I ain't doing that. I don't treat people like that. I ain't out here lying to your face. I ain't backstabbing you. So I know I'm a good person. I'm going to get right into and I haven't read this either. I tell you, a lot of people tell me things, and I don't just listen to people and then run with it. I'm like, I'm gonna get to that part, but right now I gotta figure this part out, because you're gonna try to confuse me with where I'm at. But was it Moses who did not make it to the promised land? Was it Moses?
Don't bring up stuff you don't know and then ask me.
Right?
Looking
See, I thought she was gonna. I was talking to someone, and I don't think it was Abraham. I'm pretty sure they said Moses.
What are you talking about?
We was talking about something, and somebody was like, well, Moses didn't even make it to the promise. I was like, Moses didn't make it to what is the promised land? What are we? But either way, it was throwing me off, because whatever book she was talking about, I don't know if I was getting to it or if I was reading it, but I think at that time I was actually in Exodus. But either way, she was throwing me off, because at this point, Moses had been carrying the people. So when leading the people, God was giving him the instructions, and he was leading the people through the wilderness. So I I was getting confused when she was saying that Moses didn't make it, and I'm pretty sure she used the word promised land. And I was like, so you trying to tell me like Moses didn't make it to heaven? Moses? Like, at this point, Moses has done no wrong in my eyes.
Or maybe she meant to where they was trying to
go. Yeah, and so but right, and I hadn't finished reading it, so I said I jot a lot of things down because I want to be able to go back because my loctician, hey Jarisha, that's who I was talking to, and so we will go back and forth. Even if I say, hey, you told me, or she'll say, hey, you told me, and then I read, and then we go while I'm getting my hair retwisted. We have these, and so that's another place I love to have my godly words, you know. And so I said, well, I'm gonna keep that.
Stuck on. I'm about to go read it right after.
Right, I'm gonna keep that in mind because I was like, what you mean? But where I am in my book reading, well, Bible reading, Moses isn't dead. Like nothing is, like Moses is still with the people. The clouds are still coming over. He's still going up talking, you know? Yeah. So I'm just like, wait a minute. And I read very slow because my thought process is I need to understand. Yeah. And I am a very like intricate person. Like you say one thing, I'm like, well, wait a minute. You mean like my 2 big steps forward, or you mean like an actual foot? Like how we measuring it? Which way are we going?
Because what's 5 cubits?
Right? Because if I step on the wrong block and I be thinking like the mom things with some shoot out the wall.
Girl,
don't get me caught up in the mess. So it gets to say the least, the journey does get interesting.
It's so fun.
But the further you get, the further you get into it, the like more interesting and better it is. And I try not to follow a lot of people that joke about like turn the Bible into parodies.
Oh yeah,
because you ain't supposed to do that. But I'm not gonna lie, sometimes this one girl, she does it, but she
the way that she reads the Bible.
Yeah, she'll read it as it is, but then she'll read it like how we talk today. Yeah. And I'd be like, nah, for real.
It makes sense more.
It does. And so those I can get with, but it's the other ones. There was a one guy who was like, you better talk to somebody, because I'm like, Peter, I come through shooting, and I'm like, okay. Let's not do that. So those, I can't really get with them, but I do try to follow people that help me to further understand. But the further you get into the journey, it does become super fun, because it's just like,
I'd be excited to read.
Yeah, it's like I'm hanging out with my best friend, and I feel like I'm learning how to live my life the proper way. And even though I started this whole podcast conversation earlier with, I do get afraid that I'm going to not be able to fully give myself, because I feel like I'm gonna end up like not being able to let go of what he's asking me to let go of. And I am afraid, but it doesn't stop me from continuing to follow, if that makes sense.
Because one day you'll look back and that one thing that you thought that you would not be able to let go of, you'll look back and be like, I ain't did that. And
yeah,
like the things like when they just literally shed off like your hair. Like you don't notice that the hair just fell out your head.
Yeah.
But it's just certain things that you don't even have the certain desire. It's not that he's gonna you're gonna wake up every day one day and just be like, I don't want to do this. You're literally not gonna have that desire in your heart to want to do it.
Yeah, because them songs was a big one for me.
Yeah.
Like, I would feel bad the entire ride. And that's crazy, because that'd be my jam.
And in those moments, I literally go ahead, delete.
Switch, yeah.
And I ain't got no reason to play it. It ain't coming up on shuffle no more.
Right.
It's gone. Get
rid
of it.
I can't do this no more.
You're done.
So, if y'all ain't tuned in to our gospel playlist, I don't know what y'all doing, because it's fire.
Okay, I'll put the link in there.
Right? And it's a good playlist,
with that
though.
Being said, I don't have a necessarily you're done moment, but I think that one thing that I had to be done with was feeling like my journey comparing my journey to someone else's.
Yeah.
Feeling like what I was doing wasn't enough. God created me. He knows I'm a sinner. He knows everything about me. How many hairs is on my head, even the one that just shed it off. Cause child, I be like, dang, my edges, they still there. But he knows everything about me, and understanding that even when I fall short sometimes, that he's not looking at me like, oh no, you're done. God is not canceling me out. And God gives me the opportunity every day to wake up and forget the things that were done yesterday. Here's a new day to have a new start, a new opportunity to do what he called me to do.
Yeah.
And I had to learn to just be done with feeling like my journey was this straight path. Like, if I don't do it this way, God is going to, cancel me. And
drop you off.
Yeah, and that's not how it works. So taking my journey for exactly what it is and doing what works for me and God. This is me and God. They ain't got nothing to do with you.
That part.
Like, he working on me so that I can help. You know, we are learning. We're growing. Yeah. Understanding that every day will not look the same. Amen. Some days he talking to me, and the next day I'd be like, hello, anybody home?
He's helping another child.
Yeah, he got me on hold. But yeah, so just understanding that every day is different.
Yeah.
And being okay with that.
Yeah, that was good. I feel like that would probably be the same thing for me. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like I'm done with anything because this is an ongoing thing. So,
yeah, but you're going to be done with that one thing one day, whatever the thing she's talking about.
Yeah. I'm going to be done being afraid that I won't be able to be obedient.
Yeah.
I will be able to be obedient.
You will be.
Yeah, because I feel like I've made strides in the right direction. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I think sometimes you have to remember where you came from and not just like where you are. Mm-hmm. And that helps me not judge other people because it's like, why wouldn't you do it? But it's like, baby, we was just doing that 4 years ago.
But like, when you really think about where you were before and think about where you are now, I think that's that's a form of motivation for me to keep going. Like, if God stopped me from doing that, what else he got up his sleeve? Because baby, this
better watch out.
This ain't even me in my prime, for real.
Right? At this point, Honey Pot could be out here changing the back of her logo. I mean, the back of her.
And the ingredients ain't changed. She still got it from her ancestors. Don't use it. Don't be out here talking to them dead folks, y'all. We love them. We love Grandma. But baby, she's with the Lord now. We hope.
Amen.
And so, I think it's good to just, the more you talk to God and dive into his word, not only giving yourself time to spend time with him and read the Bible, all those things are great, but also finding time to just sit in stillness and quietness to allow him to speak to you.
Yes.
Because that's just how it works.
I think that was a perfect way to end this podcast.
Mm-hmm. We love y'all, but remember, God loves you more.
No, for real.
But yeah, that was episode, I don't know, of the You're Done podcast.
I don't know why she always like to let y'all know what episode this, because by the time she get ready to edit and do stuff, she can say this is episode 3, this end up being episode 5.
Oh, well, this is the You're Done podcast.
Season 3, that she do know.
Season 3. And we gonna see y'all at the same time next week. Peace.
Oh, you want to smile? Oops. Pause.
My mic been like it was for breathing that day. Oh. Now we gotta go read this book by Moses, y'all. Because I don't know what she's talking about. Who?